So it's been a while because I've had nothing to show and tell. I've not had any results from all my experiments yet. That is why I've not been uploading anything. But today I thought I'll just share with you some of the plants that you've seen through all my experiments and to see how they're doing, good and bad. So this is my deck area. I usually don't have the fan there. That's for my husband actually, because he's been using this deck for his work through MCO. Because there is let me just flex my pull down table here. So it goes like this. It goes down into a table. Whoops. So he does his work here. That's why there's a fan here, because Malaysia has been very, very hot. Well, my balcony has been very hot. That is also why there is a shear here, which I've put up temporarily, because the evening sun comes in here and it's very hot. But today is a nice day because it's raining finally, and my plants are getting some cool air for once and no sun, so that they can rest. Okay, since we're at this fiddle leaf fig, I'm sure you guys who have been following me from the start remember this fiddle leaf fig. It was inside. I just pulled this out because actually even after I changed the soil, it wasn't doing badly, but it wasn't doing very well. So you can see all the leaves on top are really small, but so I'm thinking there wasn't enough light inside there. So in the past, I think it's been out here for 2 weeks. I've brought it out 2 weeks. Not a very good idea now because there's a lot of sun, but I'm just trying out my luck here. I've had some burns, look at that. But these were actually rotting away when I was when it was inside. Like a month ago, it started to somewhat rot. So I'm thinking could be not enough sun and over watering. So I brought it out for a while. Anyway, I have actually planted other plants in it. This is a Scindapsus pictus exotica. It's still in its own pot, as you can see. I've just placed it there, but all the vines has been growing all over the place. I'm sure some of them have already rooted, and these are climbing up. Let me just show you. See, they're climbing up all the way here. Okay, I have also just planted another Rhaphidophora tetrasperma here. Now this one is a different one from the one you saw me changing the pot in one of the videos. This is a totally different one. Even the leaf shape is different. Initially I thought it was a pertusa, but my friend says definitely a tetrasperma. But this one is different because it's tissue cultured. So the leaves are slightly more thin and elongated, and I can't find you a matured leaf here. Well, this one is kind of matured. It doesn't really spread out like the other one I had. See, even this one of the new leaves, not spreading out. So yeah, there is a conglomerate of plants down there, because these are my insurance. Should this fiddle leaf fig die, or should it go bald, all the leaves have dropped off, I still have other plants that's going to use it to grow up as as a pole, as a totem pole. So this is my plan for if this dies. I hope it doesn't die, but even if it doesn't die, it will have lots and lots of friends. Now, coming from this tissue cultured Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, let me show you the other one that you saw me repotting into a different pot, and you'll be shocked at how much it has grown. So, you ready for it? It's here. Look at that. Do you remember that? Now look at the leaves. This is really different because this is this one came from Japan, I've been told, and you can see that the leaf is different. It's more spread out, okay, as compared to this one. The leaves are closer together, right? They look like that. The other one looks like that. So, well, that's what my friend said. This is tissue cultured. This one is tissue cultured, and this one is, I don't know, I call it the real plant, okay? Anyway, I just want to show you how much it has grown. So from there, whoa, that's how much it has grown. It's grown all the way up. Look at that. Look at that glorious thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to grow up, and I'm going to stick it to the wall with some tacks, with some tack it, and hopefully it will grow up like my Micans here. Okay, so I'm going to waiting for it. I'm just waiting for it to pass this threshold so that I can stick it on the wall. But as it is, yep, this is it. Ooh, what can I see inside that? Did you guys see Eeyore here? My daughter is drying him off. Alright, what else? Well, this video was quite new. The Monstera, which I just reported as well, and it's giving me a new leaf. So from this one to this one is about 2 months. Okay, so new leaf there. So shows that it's happy in the new pot, and I'm happy too. So after the thigh constellation, let's go to the string of hearts. Remember the string of heart videos that I did? So this one, remember, it was 2 plants which I put them together and repotted into one. Now this one initially wasn't doing very well because I didn't notice it, but there were a lot of mealybugs underneath the leaves, and the leaves were small, so I couldn't see. Without my specs, I couldn't see. So I was thinking, why is the plant like dropping leaves? The leaves are getting like soggy and it's dropping off. And finally I found the mealybugs. So I cleaned the plant up. I picked the mealybugs one by one, and I sprayed it with some of my friends' ooh, can you hear the thunder? Some of my friends' organic pesticide, and now it's growing back nicely. It's growing long. It's all over the place, but it's looking good. Okay, I just wish that I had a place to hang this. I tried to hang it up, but it wasn't really happy. So I'm just gonna have to put it here and just, it's happiest here, okay? It's happiest here, so it's gonna stay here. Although it looks kind of messy. Okay, that's one. And this is another one. I don't think I showed this reporting, but this one was experiment. I just put like a wire over a pot. Repotted this, and it actually looks quite nice. Now the other one that I showed you on the video was this one. So remember, this container came from the trash bin outside my unit. It is growing very well. This was just one plant, okay? I planted one plant. Let me just show you how it looks on top. Check it out. It's looking quite good, isn't it? Very full. This one is very full. So this one is growing very well. I actually tried hanging my variegated one up there as well, but doesn't like it. I don't know why. Maybe not enough sun. There's not enough sun up here. Sun doesn't get that high up. Just doesn't like it. And the mealybugs came. So this is the best place for it. So those are the two string of hearts. Oh my gosh. Can't even talk properly now. Now this is the other one. The Alocasia Macrorrhiza variegata. Now I find this plant really weird, really sensitive, because I was moving it around, and some of the older leaves got burnt because I moved it closer to the edge of the balcony where you saw the fiddle leaf fig was, and that time was really, really hot. So it got really burnt, and those leaves have been cut off now, so I've let it regrow into this fall. Now this plant is actually really, really sensitive. Every time I find that if I move it, or even a little bit, even if I move it a little bit, it will shrink back into its bulb. Like the leaves will die, and then I'll have to cut it down, and then it will become small again, and it will start growing again. And then there will be times when it's very comfortable, it becomes a really big plant, okay? But then after a while, it will shrink back into a small plant, especially if you move it around. So I have kind of gotten used to its erratic behavior, so I'm not afraid of it anymore, because last time, every time it shrunk, my heart dropped down to my stomach, because I thought it was going to die, but it's not. It's just like that. It's just like that. This one is a diva. Okay, just let me show you the Micans that's been growing up here. So I've trimmed off some of it because they were going yellow. I don't think there's enough moisture to go up there, but now the ones that are left are looking better because there's less competition. And remember the other two Micans that I planted? One was one I cut it down to 1 centimeter. Let me show you that one now. So right here is the Micans that got balled down, and just want you to have a look at how much it has grown. I might have to cut those off because it's too long, but you can see how lush it is now. And let me bring you to the other one, which didn't grow as fast as this one, but it is growing now. So here's the other one. Remember this pole, this X-shaped pole I made? It's growing slightly slower, but it's alright. I have plenty of Micans in my house, so I don't mind this guy growing a little bit slower. Now this place is a little bit low light, so naturally it's taking a longer time to grow. I've just added one huge Micans cutting here, which I cut off from the wall. So I've just poked that in as well. And we'll see how this goes. Now, do you guys remember this? Remember I had 4 plants, variegated peace lily. Well, I've given away 3 of them, and I've just left one for myself. I didn't need so many of them. Since I'm guessing I'm going to have to cut this plant down when it reverts back to green again. So I'm sure this is going to be the routine for this plant now. Every time it reverts back to green, I'm going to have to cut it back down to its juvenile state. But as you can see, look at the variegation. It totally came back. This one got a little bit burned because the weather has been really hot. And this new one that's coming out, it's also very variegated. Look at that. So yep, only one left, but it looks really nice. Now remember that big Philodendron gloriosum I have? Well, it's been reduced to this. How sad. But it's okay, it's growing back. I've actually cut the stem up into several pieces, so I have different pieces of stem dotted all over the house. So this is one of them, restarting. Okay, let me show you some other ones that I have been restarting from the stem cutting. Here's one. This one is growing pretty well. I'm actually trying them in different places in my balcony. So this one is really hidden underneath a lot of other plants, a lot of other canopies. So this one is in quite low light, but it is growing pretty good. So I have one here. Let me bring you to my toilet. I have two in there, hiding somewhere here. One is here. This one, I've plunked it in water. I want to see how it reacts. So it's looking, there's no roots. There is no roots, but there is these two nodes coming out. Okay? I thought I saw some roots the other day. Oh no, I just saw nubs, root nubs. So this one has two nodes, growing nodes coming out. Let's put it back into the water. I have some seaweed solution which I dropped into the water. That's why it's brown. And the other one is in here with the hastatum. Okay, this one has a bit more roots. Look at that. Ooh, interesting. So there's one here. There are a few growing out here. This one was pretty brown and tired looking. I didn't think this was going to live, but what I did was I did scratch into the brown and I saw some green inside. So I knew that this one was still alive. So if you are skeptical if the root cutting, the stem cutting, sorry, not the root cutting, if the stem cutting is alive, just scratch the surface, and if you can see green inside, then this stem is still alive. Okay? Sorry about the echoey sound here because you're actually in my toilet. So I have another root coming out. So this one is doing really well for looking so sad in the beginning. Roots here, root here. But, oh, there's a new node. I didn't see this a few days ago. So this one must have just come out. So okay, they're all living, alive, which is great. This is actually my propagating station. And so, even though the big plant is gone, but I have its babies dotted all over my house, growing into little adult plants. And a lot of you have been asking me about the white wizard. I think you said it was a wizard, not a knight. Well, unfortunately, that one has died. I actually did get some variegation back with the new growth, but it took like 3 times. I had to cut it 3 times, I think, to get the new node to grow from the variegated part, because basically that stem wasn't very variegated. There was only like maybe 2 parts on that white wizard stem that had variegation. So I had to wait for the node to grow out from that part to get the variegation. So I had to do it 3 times. Anyway, it grew out and it grew quite well for a while. And then the monsoon season came, and it was in a corner. I didn't see it, but it was actually infested by mealybugs, and I couldn't see the mealybugs because when I discovered it, the mealybugs was actually in the roots. So when I dug it out, because I saw the leaves were yellowing and they were dying, I dug it out and I saw the mealybugs surrounded the whole root system. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not going to make it. And well, it did not make it. It died. And together with it, the plant that was next to it was an Alocasia mallow, also had the same problems, also attacked by the mealybug in the roots, which I also didn't know because it was inside the substrate, and that died too. So both of them, the mallow and the white wizard, both of them didn't make it. So sad. And we will not forget my Syngonium podophyllum variegata. So I have decided that I'm going to tack it to the wall and see if it sticks to the wall. So this one, remember what I did? I cut off the root ball, and they're still growing now because, as you can see, a lot of the roots have already gone down via the bamboo plant and gone down and stuck into the substrate down there. And I have some growing from the center as well. Those two are growing from the center. It's an offshoot. And this one is also growing from this very short shoot, very short stem. Okay, so these are growing from the middle, and I have some which, if you remember, I actually planted straight into the pot. So these ones are growing as well. There's one behind there that's squashed between the pot and the plant. You see there, it's growing as well. But this, remember the root ball? Remember that root ball? This is how it looks now. It is growing like crazy. These are all the growth from the root ball, and I've actually tied it back onto the bamboo, and I'm going to restart it again from the top. I'm going to let it grow up again, and I'm going to repeat the process when it gets too tight at the roots. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite. I really love variegation like that, like splatters of paint. I mean, this is my favorite variegation. Like these variegations are my favorite kind of variegation. Not so much this one, okay? So don't hate on me, but this is not my kind of variegation like that. I like variegation like this, like splatters of abstract paint. Yep. Now next to this plant, I have another Syngonium podophyllum. I've always thought this was a jade. From the beginning, I thought it was jade because it wasn't named when I bought it. But I don't know, I really don't know, but I've been seeing people calling this Three Kings. I don't know why I have here, but it's a pretty plant. I like the variegation. They're all different. On every leaf, the variegation is different, although it's not very white. It's not as white as this one. But the design, the pattern is very nice. Also like abstract splatter of paint, my kind of variegation. Okay, let me just end with this plant, Philodendron, rugosum, aberrant form. And it's doing very well. Remember the little marks that I was complaining about? Yeah. So apparently someone told me that these are what? nectarine, something nectarine. I can't remember the name. I just remember nectarine because I remember that orange. So I just want to thank all of you who came to my rescue when I put this problem on my Instagram. I got diagnosis from fungus to scales, and then I got something that really piqued my interest, and this one came from this guy. It's like little pores that produce sweet honey beads of liquid that feeds the ants. And I didn't realize it, but there was quite a lot of ants. There were quite a lot of ants on this plant some time ago. And those beads, after they dry up, they produce those little brown dots. So it doesn't do anything to the plant. As you can see, it's growing very well. New shoot. Okay, all the new leaves are fine. So this is good. I think that time when it had those little beads of honey was because I placed it next to the window and it was very, very hot. I'm sure the heat had something to do with that. This plant doesn't make them anymore. There's not very many of them. That day I saw like a few drops. So I tasted them and they taste sweet.